You'll use a number of displays for landing, including the altitude and airspeed indicator, the instrument landing system, or ILS, the vertical speed readout, and the angle of attack readout and indexer. Altitude readout is critical as you set up the approach. Select the radar altimeter for display on the HUD by pressing Ctrl A. This gives you a readout of height above ground instead of height above sea level. The ILS aids you in landing the aircraft under any condition. The ILS is displayed as two needles on the HUD. The GSD is the horizontal needle indicating the position of the glide slope. Glide slope is an imaginary horizontal path originating from the touchdown aim point on the runway out to the point the final approach starts. If you are on glide slope, the GSD will cross the velocity vector in the center. Glide slope for the Hornet is approximately 4 degrees. Check glide slope as you start your final approach. At the correct altitude, the runway landing area is 4 degrees below the horizon line in your HUD. To maintain a 4-degree glide slope and land at the correct speed, the velocity vector should be superimposed on the touchdown aim point and proper angle of attack maintained. The vertical needle, or LD, indicates your lineup relative to the aircraft. Lineup is an imaginary vertical line extending from the runway center line out through the final approach. On lineup means your aircraft intersects this line. When on the correct heading, the LD will be covering the runway and crossing the velocity vector. The key to flying the needles is small, smooth corrections to maintain an on and on, or on glide slope and lineup. Moving too fast will cause you to overshoot and chase the needles. The last part of the landing equation is angle of attack. As you may recall from the Principles of Flight section, angle of attack is the angle the wing makes with the airstream. For the aircraft to maintain a 4-degree glide slope and land at the correct speed, proper AoA must be maintained. On-speed AoA is fixed at 7.6 degrees for the Hornet. This number is derived from airspeed and aircraft weight, so airspeed will vary depending on aircraft weight. The AoA indexer located on the left side of the HUD has a quick indicator of proper angle of attack and airspeed as you make your landing approach. If the approach is too slow, the upper chevron of the AoA indexer will light. The chevron indicates the direction your nose and the angle of attack must go to be on speed. To correct, increase your power until airspeed starts to increase. As on-speed angle of attack approaches, the center ball will light. Reduce power slightly. If aircraft speed starts to build, the angle of attack indexer will indicate that you are fast by lighting the lower chevron. Reduce power until the airspeed begins to decrease. As the center ball lights, add power to catch the airspeed decrease and maintain on-speed flight. Along with speed, nose position affects angle of attack. Climbing with no change in engine thrust decreases speed and you'll begin to slow. Get in the habit of adding power when making large backstick corrections, pushing the nose over to increase airspeed and decrease your AoA. Take out power as you make major nose down corrections.